All right, welcome back. I decided to turn these videos into somewhat of a series. Um, Basically, I'm just gonna use these car videos, these unscripted, and well, sometimes they'll be completely unscripted. Sometimes, like this video, for example, I'm gonna have like notes that I've been taking, but um, these are just organic notes. These aren't. I'm not writing off a script. These are just like this is my actual notebook that I use on a daily basis whenever I'm having ideas or if I'm sitting down watching a video, like just to write out my thoughts, write out my ideas. So these videos are basically just going to be completely unscripted videos, completely raw videos, and I'm going to basically put them in place, not in place. I'm going to mix them in with my normal uploads. So I typically upload Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and these are like my scripted, structured educational videos. And I love those style of videos because I feel like they're the most valuable to people. But I also want to try and kind of mix in the more unscripted, raw type of videos, or just me kind of talking on some points or some ideas, some thoughts I've been having. Just because I also found that I've derived a lot of value from videos where successful or coming up people, like people on their way to success, just kind of sit and talk about what they're working through, what they're doing exactly, what ideas they're having, what thoughts they're having, things that they're just learning about as they go, which is kind of the whole gist of my content, my channel. But my structured videos are typically things that I've already kind of mastered and can turn into applicable knowledge. Whereas this is stuff like I'm working through on the spot as I go. So it's just a little bit more deep, a little more personal. And I've always really enjoyed watching these types of videos. And I thought it'd be cool to start making them. And for a while, I was doing not for YouTube, but just making videos in my car because that's where I feel like I have the best ideas is when I'm driving. So I just like put the camera on and I just kind of spit while I'm driving. But those are always for me. And I decided I kind of want to start doing this for you guys as well because I really find a lot of value in rewatching those videos over. And I feel like, if I can get value from it, then somebody watching my channel definitely could. So I'm gonna call this series my Raw Thoughts. This is Raw Thoughts Volume 1. So for the last 2 months, I'd say, I've been in a deep self improvement focused era of my life where I've just been kind of really locking in my habits, my daily routine, my morning and night routines, um, and my training so that I could get myself ready for this season, snowboarding season, because I'm always very busy in snowboarding season because I'm a snowboarder. So I'm out there every day that I can be, and that takes up a lot of time. So I really had to be locked in, really had to be ready to focus and really manage my time because in order to be able to keep up with YouTube and stuff, like I got to be on top of my time blocks, my work blocks. I got to be on top of my diet so my energy's right and I can keep up with all of it. So basically, I just had to get myself ready, was the point, right? So I went into a self improvement focused era. And during that period of time, I wasn't making a lot of content for YouTube. What I like to do is I basically lock in on content for a while. Typically, I'm not going to be doing that during snowboarding season, but typically, what I'll do is I'll lock in on content for an extended period of time. So the last big block I did was from about probably mid to late July, and I ended that block in late September, where I was just grinding content every single day. I was either writing scripts or I was recording videos, and I was doing as much as I could. Um, the most videos I recorded in a single day was 9, which was pretty impressive, in my opinion, because that was like right. That was kind of the first time I'd ever done something like that, where I'd try to record multiple videos in a day, and I just got really good at it because I don't know if it's just the level of self improvement I'm at or the way my brain's wired, but I can just lock in, and if I lock in on a specific task, I can just grind that out for hours on end, and so it would take like that for example took me about 3 or 4 hours, but it felt like nothing. Like it just felt really good because I was just focused and locked in. So I'm not trying to gas myself up. I'm just kind of explaining that for a period of time I was just kind of grinding content and getting ahead on uploads. So I got myself about 2 months ahead on YouTube uploads, meaning I basically gave myself those 2 months to focus on whatever I wanted. If I wanted to keep making content, that's what I could have done. but I decided I really needed to go and focus in on my self-improvement for a bit. However, during that period of time, like I said, I wasn't making a lot of content, but I was still doing a lot of studying, a lot of learning, reading a lot of books, and a lot of thinking. And one of the things I did was I kept, this is a brand new notebook, this is a brand new journal, but I'm doing it in a different way. So I basically just have all of these different points, dates, and then yeah, so just all different things I'm thinking of, all different ideas, different points. If I'm watching a YouTube video, I usually have this notebook with me, and I'll just write down ideas I get as I go. And so this is basically just a notebook full of all my best ideas, which I think is pretty dope. So what I want to do is for this first episode, first video, I'm gonna call it volume one, but whatever. First episode of my raw thoughts. I kind of want to go over just a couple of these. I'm not gonna go into the whole thing. There's a lot in here, but I picked two really good, really important points that I think um, could help someone else and that I think are important to talk about and tie back to most of my content that I make on YouTube anyways. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. So this first one, and all of these are original quotes from me, by the way. Okay. Well, I'm not, but it's a joke. All right. So this first point, setting and reminding yourself of clear goals is key. You create the system from the goal. You need to have a clear direction to instill a strong masculine drive. Then you create a powerful system and take consistent action, giving yourself a funnel for this masculine force, right? So the first step of achieving anything in life, the first step of transforming yourself or transforming your life, whatever it is you're focused on, and in my point of view, those two are one and the same, but whatever. When you're trying to go through a transformation or you're trying to achieve some big goal, you need to start with the direction, right? You need to start with the goal, right? The focus of where you're trying to go needs to be the beginning, right? And action in and of itself should be the first step, right? So like once you're like, oh yeah, I want to go and do this big thing, action's the first step. But what I'm meaning by this is you have to have an intention, you have to have a direction, you have to have a goal for what this action is actually supposed to create, what this action is actually supposed to lead to in your life, right? But once you've created this direction, right? Once you have decided on and set the intention for where you'd like to go, right? What you'd like to do, that's when you create the system, right? So you create the system from the goal first. It's not the other way around, right? You could never create the system first and then decide what goal that's going to achieve, because you won't end up where you want to be in that case, right? The system that you create will be based on the current state of mind, the current vision that you have for yourself. So if you don't clearly set what vision that is, if you don't clearly set what the goal is and what the goal will be, you don't have the ability to create any valuable type of systems. You can create systems all you want, but there won't be any value derived from them because they don't have an actual end goal. They don't have an end point. They don't have a destination, right? And therefore they don't really have a purpose. But once you have a clear goal, a clear intention, you can create this system from the goal, right? You can take that goal and you can form a system out of it. And then the next step is taking consistent action, right? So you have this powerful system that's going to lead you in the direction you want to go. Now, and likely the most important step is take consistent action, right? This gives you a funnel for all of this masculine drive, this masculine force, this you could think of it as essentially the energy that is driving you forward, right? This masculine energy driving you forward, driving you through this transformation. The system and the actions that you're taking within that system become the funnel, whereas the intention, the goal, is what creates and instills this energy within you, right? So it's already within you, right? Don't think that you don't have masculine energy. You do, if you're a man, obviously, and women still have their level of masculine energy, but their dominant force would be the feminine. Obviously, I'm talking about men here, though. You already have this masculine drive within you. You already have this masculine energy within you. It's just that it's dormant, right? It's unawakened. But once you have set the intention, once you have set the goal, that energy begins to be reawakened, right? That energy begins to be reignited, and it starts to move. And within this movement, now you have the intention, you have the goal, this energy is starting to, I guess you could say, unlock itself within you. Now is when you create the system and you take action on it consistently, relentlessly, right? And that action is what gives you a funnel for this energy, a funnel for this masculine drive. And if you created the right system, if you created the system from the goal, what will happen is that system, that those actions that you're taking on a consistent basis, following that system will lead you to the goal, right? It will lead you to your end goal, your end destination. But the true masculine desire is that of, there's two, right? That of freedom and that of effort, right? So the effort itself that it takes to get to your goal is where the real joy is going to come from, where the real drive is coming from, or where the real pleasure and enjoyment is coming from, right? And I say pleasure and enjoyment because the feeling you get from working towards a goal is the alternative to any other form of indulgence, any other form of pleasure, right? So you seek pleasure because it is similar to that feeling you get from making progress. At least that's my perspective at this point in my journey, right? So if you look at the feeling that you get from progression, from work, from effort, from a perspective of, rewiring your dopamine receptors to not be chasing instant gratification and instant pleasures, you can actually break your addictions a lot easier because you find that the thing you're seeking from those addictions is actually found within the effort you're avoiding through these addictions, right? So that's one big thing. That's one big step, is making sure that you have a clear goal and that you create a system and take relentless action on it. And actually, the action part is probably the most important thing in this whole conversation, right? Yes, the goal is important. You have to have the direction. Yes, the system is very important, very helpful. But if you are in a position where you're not moving forward, you don't know where you want to go, you don't know what you want to do, you're kind of lost, you're drifting, whatever, all you really have to do is take action. And obviously, if you don't know where you want to really go, this action isn't going to mean some big step towards your end goal. This action can be something as simple as putting down your phone long enough to think about it, cleaning your room, like if you go to school, right, you like doing this schoolwork, basically just take action on things that will be productive, right, is essentially the point. Take action on productive things because you start to wire your brain for this. You start to wire your brain for action, for production, for completing tasks. And then as you do it, typically you will be opened up to um, insights about what you'd really like to do with your life, the things you'd really like to take action on. And from there, because you've trained the skill of just taking action, just completing tasks, just doing work, engaging in things throughout the day that are productive instead of engaging in things that are destructive, right? So engaging in work, engaging in learning and reading, engaging in exercise versus engaging in drugs, engaging in over sexualization, porn, junk food, social media, right? Basically training yourself to engage in the right activities. Then once you do find your direction, once you have, from there, once you've identified where you want to go, um, now it's a good point to be like, okay, now since I've trained myself to take action, trained myself to be engaged on these things, now I set my intention, now I create my system, and I just keep taking action on that system, right? Whereas if you are currently in a state where you're drifting because you don't know what you want to do with your life, you're going to make it harder for yourself to actually begin that journey once you have identified what you want to do, because you're used to and programming yourself to be used to and comfortable with just drifting all day long, indulging in pleasure. And so when you have identified your purpose, once it comes up that, oh, you have to do this work task to actually get there, that's difficult, you're not going to want to do it, and you're not going to be able to get yourself to do it because you're programmed to just indulge in the comforts instead, right? And things like washing dishes, things like cleaning your room, they may seem irrelevant, but doing these tasks trains you to constantly be looking for problems to solve, and it also trains you to be able to do the work and engage in the work that it takes to solve them. Another thing about it is when you are doing this regularly, it doesn't seem like so much to do work. When you're actually programmed to derive this joy that I'm talking about from effort, you actually find yourself enjoying the work more than anything else, right? The work is the most fun thing that there is. It's just you have to beat the resistance of the mind that's trying to drive you away from it, lead you away from it, right? So the second point actually kind of ties in. I didn't do this on purpose, I promise, but the way I ended up explaining the first point, this second one will really start to tie in. Um, the path of self-destruction is only a response to a lack of purpose. When you are directed and focused, you are only filled with an utmost joy from the act of creation and building your dream reality slash self, right? So what do I mean by this? What does this mean? So the path of self-destruction is actually just a response to a lack of purpose, right? Self-destruction itself is just a lack of purpose, a lack of reason to put in effort, a lack of reason to grow, therefore reason to live, right? And so the result of this, the response to this is there's no purpose, meaning there's no purpose to you living, being, doing the things you do. So naturally, you start to drift towards a state of self destruction. And this is completely unconscious, but your brain knows exactly what it's doing. It's essentially shutting down the body, shutting down the brain, shutting down the system, and allowing it to begin the process of decaying and dying so that its energy, its vitality, all of the things that make up you can be returned back to the earth and repurposed, right? Think of when an animal dies in the wild, right? What happens is it lays on literally on the ground, right? Animals will eat it, right? Scavengers will eat it, and the rest of it, its body is decayed and eventually integrated back into the earth, and then that energy is repurposed, right? So if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, the physical matter is broken down into its raw components, which is just energy. I could say sexual energy, but that might be a little confusing for most people. So just energy. It's broken back down into raw energy and then repurposed and used for something else, right? So when we don't have a purpose as human beings, the only other option for us is death, because if we don't have a purpose, there's no reason to our living, there's no reason to our being alive. And so it drives us crazy because we need this level of pursuit towards growth or towards an end goal, end destination. And that growth is what gives us a reason to live, right? Pursuit of a goal is what gives us reason to live. And a goal doesn't just mean like I want to make $1 million, right? A goal in and of itself is just the end destination, the end point of your current bout of growth and effort, right? So, whatever the goal may be, it's simply just an end point that drives you to push yourself in a way that forces you to grow. Because if you didn't have this end point, this end goal, and you were just satisfied with where you are, then there's no growth, there's no pursuit for a higher version of yourself. It's just you're good as you are. And so void of this purpose, right? And typically a goal is gonna match your purpose, but void of a purpose, right? Void of a goal, void of a desire to improve and grow, we have no real reasons to live, right? It may seem extreme, but when you really look into it, this is the truth, right? There is no reason to being alive. There's no reason to living a human life aside from the fact that we are pursuing a higher version of ourselves, pursuing growth, pursuing transformation, and providing our gifts to the rest of the world. This is all purpose is, right? Is growing to the state that we're able to fully give our gifts to the world and then giving of those gifts, right? So void of this, void of a purpose, there really is nothing to live for, right? We are not here to live for pleasures. We are not here to live for comfort. We are not here to live for instant gratification, right? We are not here to live to indulge all the good foods of the world. We're not here to travel and just see the world. Yes, right? Yes, travel, see the world. Yes, experience good food, truly good food, not bullshit food that tastes good, but truly good food, right? Yes, experience these things when you can. Yes, enjoy these things. But they're not the purpose to life. They're not the reason for us living. And so void of a true purpose, all of these things become empty in and of themselves, but they also become the purpose, right? We cannot live without a true purpose. So if we don't actually have one, naturally it becomes these vices. Naturally it becomes this state of self-destruction that becomes our purpose, right? And again, you would be unconscious of the fact that this is what your body's doing, but if you really observe, right, you are self-destructing because you don't have true meaning, true purpose, something real, genuine, and meaningful to you to work towards, right? So that I'm all done with both of those points. I think I explained them pretty well, and I just wanted to go over two of them for this video, and I'll probably do a bunch more to go over the rest of these because this notebook's not even close to full. I think I'm like 10 pages in or something like that, but it's full. Like there's a lot in here. If I really go through and really break it all down, and obviously more to come. And who knows, maybe I'll fuck around and go and get some of my old notebooks, some of my old journals from back in the day when I first started, and we could go over some of that too. And then there's also going to be plenty of these videos where it's just me, um, just kind of me talking. So like no notebook, and all of these videos there's no like real script, but no notebook, no notes, just me talking about whatever I'm thinking of in the moment. If I have a cool idea, I can sit down and just record a video like this. And these videos I might try to do like 1 to 2 a week, but nothing crazy. I don't really want to like fill up the week. I don't want to get too close to daily uploads, but I wouldn't mind doing like 1 or 2 of these a week and putting them in between my scheduled uploads. Because like I said, I do Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So for those of you guys who are following me like crackheads and are waiting for my videos to come out, I hope there's none of you like that. But if there is, uh, that's when you can expect uploads from me: Sundays, Wednesdays, Fridays. If you haven't already observed that. But aside from those scheduled videos, I want to try to fill like Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays with these kinds of videos. And yeah, I might do like 1 or 2 of these a week. And I want to start mixing in some of my snowboarding clips, so like clips of me training and stuff. Um, I might I might put that stuff on Instagram and keep the YouTube pure, but you know, don't shoot me down if I upload a sick montage of me hitting some crazy tricks, right? But I kind of want to mix in some of like my real life with the actual education, with the actual like self improvement content, because really it's to me it's like the self improvement stuff is basically just a tool, basically just like a catalyst for the growth, for the achievement within your real goals. So like one of my goals is business, yes, but my other main goal is to become an athlete, right? I'm going to become the best snowboarder in the world. So that's one of my main passions. That's one of the biggest things that I do and that I love doing. So I feel like it's um, important to include that type of content as well. And basically, because what I'm doing, I'm creating a personal brand, right? I'm not selling you a specific course. I'm not selling you a specific um, I'm not a no fap coach or I'm not a fitness coach, right? I'm just a self improvement coach. I kind of teach people the fundamentals of improving and developing themselves, and then how to use those tools to take their game, whatever it is, entrepreneurship, athleticism, to the next level, right? And so that's kind of not a very specific thing. That's why I say I'm creating more of a personal brand, right? Because the brand is me and what I do. What I do is self improvement. What I do is coach and help people on self improvement. And what I do is I snowboard and self improve myself, right? So, including kind of the snowboarding in the background, not the background, but the behind the scenes kind of stuff, where like basically what I want to do, I'm showing you guys what I'm actually doing. I'm showing you guys the actual like tangible results, as well as I'm giving you the tools that got me there, right? So that's why I'd like to mix both. Um, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see if I lose a bunch of subscribers because I'm not just doing self-improvement content, but you know, I feel like it's important to show the reality of what I'm actually doing, what I'm actually trying to pursue, what I'm actually trying to achieve, while also really like making sure that I'm giving you guys all the tools as well. I wouldn't want to just be a snowboarding YouTuber, but I also wouldn't really want to be just a self improvement YouTuber. I kind of want to create my content like I am, create my education, spit my game, But then I also want to show you guys the actual results, what's actually happening behind the scenes, the things I'm actually doing and creating and building. So yeah, that's just a little side tangent on a couple ideas I'm having for the direction of the channel. But yeah, you know what? I might cut this part out of the video. I don't know. But one thing I am thinking, I definitely will focus on the Instagram first. So I'm just kind of gonna upload my clips on Instagram, and let you guys see how I'm progressing and stuff there. For those of you who are interested in that stuff, like the personal stuff, and then over on YouTube, YouTube will stay exactly the same. The only more personalized thing I'm gonna add into YouTube is these videos, these types of content, so that those who are just here for the education, like you got YouTube, and then those who want to kind of see behind the scenes can go over to Instagram and see that. Speaking on that, you guys can go check out my Instagram if you want to DM me, if you want to work with me one on one to help you guys self improve, help you guys implement this stuff into your life, right? And I say this stuff because this video wasn't really anything specific, but just implementing self-improvement into your life and using those tools to help you progress to the next level. You guys can go ahead and DM me, or you can go and check out the top link in the description. I'll let you book a call with me one-on-one if you're not socially awkward and you can actually hop on a call, because I definitely my uh, Zoom call to Instagram DM ratio is like 1 to 10. 10 Instagram DMs, one call. So you know for those of you guys who want to just talk to me, just speak with me, go ahead and book that call. But for those of you guys who are a little more skeptical or just anxious and just don't really want to hop on a call, or you just want to have a discussion first, go ahead and check out the Instagram. You can DM me there. My DMs are completely open. You can DM me about my coaching, or you can just DM me questions if you got them. Because maybe I shouldn't as a coach, but I do help people for completely free. If you do DM me and ask me questions, I pretty much treat you like a client as if you've already paid me, even if you haven't. This is just the way I am. I can't really help it. I always want to help. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, go ahead and DM me on Instagram. But if you guys are serious, you can go ahead and check out the actual coaching programs. Um, and I'm getting close to when I'm ready to announce it, but there's still a lot of work I'm kind of behind on um, for this project. I'm not mentioning what it is yet, but this project of mine that I've been working on, and I know I've been talking about it in these car style videos, and I think I've mentioned it in a couple of my regular content or my regular uploads, but there is a project I've been working on, and I've been working on it for a couple months now. Um, After I stopped recording content for YouTube was when I transitioned. I started working on this instead. But, there's been a lot I want to put into it. There's been a lot going on in my regular day-to-day life, so I haven't been able to really lock in on it. But we are getting really close to when I'm ready to announce it at the very least. And I don't know when it's going to release fully. Um, but we're getting close. We're getting to a place where I can at least begin talking about it. Um, but essentially, it's just this project that I'm creating that will organize my coaching programs, my courses, my ebooks into a clear database, a clear network. And you guys can go and purchase any of the courses you're interested in, purchase any of the ebooks you're interested in. There's going to be plenty of free resources for those who don't want to buy into some of the bigger, deeper stuff. But if you guys just want some resources for beginners and you want some resources to help you get started on the journey, I'm gonna have plenty of free resources as well. And then I'll have my paid content, my paid resources. I'm gonna create a community that you'll be able to access from this. It's a website, right? So from the website, and then also all of my coaching programs will be organized, from tier. So tier one is basically a one-time payment, $150. You guys can go ahead and do that. You get on one, I think it's 1 or 2 calls with me. I can't quite remember. You get on 1 or 2 calls with me, and I give you a self-improvement system that you can implement, and I help you with that. Then my second tier is $1,000. You work with me for 3 months on that. and I work with you one-on-one directly. So I don't limit your calls if you buy into any of the higher tier programs. But I essentially just work with you based on what you really need. So if you need one call a month and you're chilling, like that's what we'll do. If you need 4 or 5, I'm not gonna go above about 6 calls per client, just because I don't want it to get to be too much. But yeah, you guys can basically work with me on whatever you're specifically trying to improve on, and I will help you implement all of the systems. I will teach you all of some of the deep tactics and some of the deep knowledge. I give you access to all of my courses, all of my paid courses for free, not in like a database, but based on what you need. So, like if you're working on sexual transmutation, if you're working on dopamine detoxing, I let you access those courses and use them within our program. So yeah, it's an interesting method that I'm going about, an interesting product I'm trying to create, because it's essentially a database for self improvement. It's a database for people trying to improve, trying to progress, trying to achieve their goals, and it gives you access to a bunch of resources that you can use, and it gives you access directly to me, and I help you. I help you essentially decide what resources are important and what to implement, what not to implement, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been ranting for about 10 minutes about my products and YouTube, so I'm going to cut it off there. But for those of you who have watched this far into the video, you guys are the ones I'm creating this for, so I just wanted to make sure to mention that. Um, that will be coming soon, so if you guys stay tuned, you will get to be some of the first to access it. Um, and one other thing, one other key point I want to mention is for those of you who are interested in this project of mine and you do want to buy into the product, the community will be half off for the first, I think we'll do probably 2 weeks to a month um, when we first announce it and first release it, just because I kind of want to get some people into the community before I up the price to its basic price. So you guys will get like a 25% discount if you buy in early. Um, and that discount lasts for the duration of you staying within the community. So um, it's essentially a lifetime discount. So if you buy in early, you get to pay less per month for the same content, the same stuff. And I'm not going to treat you guys any different than any higher paying clients. That doesn't make sense. So, free, or not Instagram DMs, free DMs through the community, um, calls, weekly calls, courses, a lot of courses. All right, a lot of courses, a lot of really deep courses. Um, so I'm putting in a lot of work for this community and for this project of mine, this program that I'm creating, and with all of my coaching clients that I get, I work really closely with these clients, and I try to make sure that I'm helping them as much as possible. So for those of you guys who are interested in that, for those of you guys who feel like you need some extra help on self improvement, or you just want someone to assist you and guide you through the process so that you can make more progress faster, you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram and talk to me there for now. And then, stay tuned and keep waiting just a little bit longer, and you'll be able to access this program once it's ready. So that is all from me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.